Drew McIntyre is the champion, and it's time to celebrate good times. Come on, people. We've got Drew McIntyre as our champion. Life is good. However, now that Drew's at the top of the mountain, we've got 8 people gunning for him as we speak. Miz versus Randy Orton. Trick Williams versus Matt Cardona. Solo Sikoa versus Damian Priest. And Sami Zayn versus Ilja Dragunov. All 8 of these dudes are going to be fighting in a tournament style to see who gets to go to a fatal 4-way to see who gets to be the one-on-one against Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble. Today we're going to go over all 8 participants, why they should be. We're going to make a case for each of them, why they should be the guy, and then I'll tell you my predictions on who I think will be the guy. Let's start off with The Miz versus Randy Orton. The Miz, the reason why that should be The Miz. Okay, I get it. Lately, Miz has been kind of treated like, I don't know, I wouldn't say a jobber, but he's definitely putting people more over than he is not. And that's okay. Miz knows his role. He is like perpetually, Miz is like one of the higher mid-card guys. I think that's going to be a controversial statement. People are going to be like, what are you talking about? He main evented WrestleMania with John Cena. I'm not saying that The Miz doesn't belong in the main event scene. I'm saying that he's treated like an upper mid-card guy. But the beautiful thing about The Miz is he's only one big promo away from the main event. You go back and watch The Miz like go crazy on talking smack against Daniel Bryan, and you know that The Miz can just pull out a main event promo. Instant main event promo, and I could see him. He wins against Randy Orton. That a win on him would erase his last 4 months of losses because he just beat Randy Orton. He cuts a stellar promo and he goes in the 4-way. Right, boom, right there. Plus, he has a history with Drew McIntyre already. He cashed in on Drew. That was The Miz's second title reign when he cashed in on Drew McIntyre. So I don't know. We have some animosity and story right there. And let's say he doesn't get that far. He's the guy that can eat the pin in the fatal 4-way. So there's a good case for him to actually beat Randy. I don't think he's going to do it, though. Randy has a better case in winning against The Miz. Randy will win this matchup, and Randy then goes on. Why is it good for Randy? Well, for one, when Randy left, and I don't know why he did leave. We never actually explained it. He just left. But when he left, he was kind of feuding with Drew McIntyre. I think Drew beat him on Smackdown. Plus they had their SummerSlam beef where Randy teamed up with his lifelong friend Jelly Roll. But there is a history and beef right there. Plus, they actually have a beef from a long time ago as well when Drew was champion, but more so the beef that happened last year. Never really fully got resolved, in my opinion, and Randy would be an excellent first challenger to Drew McIntyre. It would be like the opposite of what they did with Jade Cargill, where Jade fought like the lowest on the mid-card, right? You know, B-Fab and Meacham, but we give Drew McIntyre an instant main event first ballot Hall of Famer right away. That would be huge. And you know, they need to start giving Randy Orton some title victories also, because if they ever wanted to catch up to the Unseen 17, well, he needs to start winning titles. So the moment Randy enters the picture of any championship matchup, it's like he's got a shot at it, and WWE needs that unpredictability right now. So I think Randy wins this match and goes on to the fatal 4-way. He's not going to win the fatal 4-way, though, unfortunately. I don't think he takes the pin, but I don't think he wins it. Now we will then go to Trick Williams versus Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona was Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder was a jobber pretty much of his career. However, he did win here and there the U.S. title, the tag team titles, and the Intercontinental title. He was always kind of like the mid card, where sometimes he would get to that upper mid card, sometimes he would get to the lower mid card. My favorite Matt Cardona or Zack Ryder angle was when he became #1 contender one time because Randy Orton was the champion, and Randy didn't want to fight anybody worthy, so he picked Zack Ryder, and Zack Ryder was like, "Yeah, I'm the #1 contender." And then the following week, I forget who it was, but he goes up to the next #1 contender and he says, "Hey man, as a former #1 contender myself," oh, I thought that was so funny. That lives rent free in my head. But the reason why Matt Cardona would be a good pick here is because this guy just came back. He just came back. If you really want to show that you believe in this guy, well, boom, he wins and gets into the Fatal 4-Way. He doesn't have to win the Fatal 4-Way, and he could eat a pin. But it does show that while maybe we don't think he's ready for the world title, it does show that we're keeping him in the conversation to see how he does in the main event scene. And plus, his story, his personal journey back to WWE and how he did not give up, that would sell. I think if they really played up the fact that he got fired as Zack Ryder, he took 5 years of grinding to get back to where he wanted to belong, there's a story right there to be told. Not gonna win. The winner's going to be Trick Williams. Trick Williams, this dude is a star. He has future written all over him. I don't even think he's going to be like just a star. I think he has potential to be the face of WWE for years to come. This dude has he has just everything. He's tall, he's muscular, he has the charisma, he knows how to go on the mic, he's decent in the ring, he's like the total package. If Vince was here, Vince would be like, get the championship on him right this second. I don't think he's going to be the winner of the Fatal 4-Way, but I think he can win right here against Matt Cardona, and that would be a huge thing because an instant guy from NXT being in the conversation of the title, he's already come out twice now on Sami Zayn and Randy Orton calling his shot. Boom, right there. Now he's automatically in a #1 contenders match for the title. That's a good look for someone that we're trying to make a big deal right out the gate. I think it's imperative that Trick Williams wins against Matt Cardona. I would love for him to win the Fatal 4-Way, but unless Drew turned face. Because then Drew McIntyre could say something along the lines, "Hey man, I was you one time. I was the upstart rookie just trying to break in and just going up against everybody that I could and having a smart mouth. You need to tone it back." So unless Drew turned face, which he's not gonna, Trick and Drew, they are uncompatible for Royal Rumble. However, because it is the Royal Rumble and you don't need the World Championship to be the main event, and the Rumble itself can be, you can play around with heel versus heel. So it's not out of the question. I just don't think it'll happen. My fear is in the Fatal 4-Way, they let Trick take the pin. Say someone like Damian Priest pins Trick Williams. I don't think it's going to be Damian Priest, by the way. But say Damian Priest pins Trick Williams, then suddenly Trick Williams is mad at Damian Priest and they can go off and have a feud. I just don't think that Trick Williams should eat the pin here. I don't at all. He just doesn't win it. But in the first round, he wins and it makes him look like $1 million. Now we go to, let's just do Solo Sikoa and Damian Priest. This one's the hardest one to me. This is the one that I can't fully figure out. It feels like Damian Priest can't afford a loss here because, well, he's coming off the momentum of a way too long feud against Aleister Black. They already teased it on last Smackdown where Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest said, "Hey, if you win it, we can run this back." And they have a history. So it would make sense for Damian Priest to go up against go up against Drew McIntyre at Royal Rumble. And like I said with Trick Williams, Royal Rumble is a PLE where you can have your champion fight someone who might not be able to headline a PLE but still get a title match, and that's kind of Damian Priest. Damian Priest did not have a great 2025, and it eroded a lot of the momentum that he had from 2024's World Championship run. Therefore, we need to rebuild him. He did beat Drew McIntyre last year, so now he gets to, if he can get to Royal Rumble, that would be a major way of getting Damian Priest back up there in the eyes of the viewers, and then Drew McIntyre can get the final say on their feud. But Solo Sikoa is someone who has proven time and time again not to doubt him. He has a whole entire faction that he can use at his disposal to help. Plus, they do have a history that is unresolved. When Drew fought Roman Reigns during Roman's 1,316-day title reign, Drew was very close at Clash of the Castle, winning the title. He was 1, 2, and then who interfered? A black hooded man, and that was Solo Sikoa. That was Solo Sikoa's first appearance on the main roster, was screwing over Drew McIntyre. Drew has never got his revenge, so I'm just throwing that out there as a little piece of a storyline that they could tell. Plus, the good thing about Solo winning here is that if he beats Damian Priest somehow, some way, hopefully it's not Aleister Black interfering, but if he can beat Damian Priest, then he can be the guy that takes the pin in the Fatal 4-Way. He could be the guy that takes the pin in the Fatal 4-Way. And I know, I'm a huge Solo Sikoa supporter, so please don't think that I'm not by saying he could take the pin. It's just he's proven also that as a heel, he knows how to take the pin and come out the next week and almost act like it never happened. Solo just laughs it off. He's dancing the next week or something. And so who wins out of these two? It's tough. I'm going to say Damian Priest. Damian Priest will beat Solo next week. That gives Damian Priest a big victory. And then it's because of the Wyatts. The Wyatts are going to come out for revenge on him stealing Bray Wyatt's lantern, and Solo Sikoa will eat the pin here. That's gonna be rough though. I don't see Damian Priest winning the Fatal 4-Way. I don't see him winning the Fatal 4-Way, but now it's difficult on who's going to take the pin, because we're now going to go to the final matchup, which is Sami Zayn versus Ilja Dragunov. If they allowed Ilja Dragunov to win, this would be huge for him. It would be like, and it would almost be like how they used to do it in the old days. The U.S. title holder, the U.S. champion, was kind of like when you lost that, you were instantly a main event guy. Well, Ilja Dragunov just lost it. They used the U.S. title to really, really showcase this Ilja Dragunov guy, and well, a lot of people responded positively to it, so now he is, boom, in the conversation. They want to keep that momentum going. Well, he gets the pin on Sami Zayn, and he gets into that Fatal 4-Way, and then boom, we got a really new, fresh matchup right here. Drew McIntyre versus Ilja Dragunov, like never been done or never been seen on WWE TV. So that's enticing. We can see how Ilja looks in the main title picture. Like there's a lot of upside to giving it to Ilja Dragunov here. However, who did Ilja Dragunov win the U.S. title from? Sami Zayn. And we all know that WWE loves their 50-50 booking. I don't, but WWE does. So, Ilja does the favors, returns the favor to Sami. Sami will win this matchup right here. And there's a lot of reasons, actually, not just the 50-50 booking. There's a lot of reasons for Sami to not just win, but to actually go to Royal Rumble. We'll talk about that after I give credit where credit is due do, this is from a lot of this theory, not 100% of it, but a lot of what I'm thinking now comes from a hot take from yesterday. Just want to give credit to Tiz Mickey. I don't know how much of it I'm stealing, but I'm stealing enough where I do feel the need to give her credit. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel if I have to. This is a good theory, so I'm going to say it. Thank you, Tiz Mickey. All right, so I think it's Sami Zayn that will win this fatal four-way right here, because we saw on Smackdown this week, he said that he wants to be champion, and he was like, it would be poetic if it was Drew, because I have never beat Drew McIntyre. So that's a mountain that Drew, that he has to climb. He also had a promo like 2 or 3 weeks ago where he was like talking to his kid, where his kid was like, why, Daddy, why haven't you ever been champion? And so Sami has refocused to become champion. Now, if Sami were to win the fatal four-way and go on to Drew, another thing is in Sami's favor. Well, it's in Saudi Arabia. I know they say that WWE is 100% in control of creative and they don't listen to anybody. But when somebody pays you $100 million to host WrestleMania, I think you're going to kind of listen to them. Or you're going to kind of want to think, what would they like? What would they like? Because it's all about the money. Therefore, who would they like to see in the main event? Well, Sami Zayn is the hometown hero of Saudi Arabia. Therefore, he makes a lot of sense going into a matchup against Drew McIntyre. Do I want it? Doesn't matter what I want. I'm trying to put myself in the perspective of WWE creative, who has to bow down to whoever writes their paychecks. Also, we've already kind of ran this scenario where Sami's the hometown hero against the odds against a bigger, stronger champion when he went against Roman Reigns at Montreal. That was a cool crowd atmosphere that really got behind Sami, and I could see that happening in Saudi Arabia. So we run back the hometown hero underdog angle of Sami Zayn. I don't like the underdog angle of Sami Zayn at this point because Sami has done so much. I don't think he is an underdog anymore, but WWE does like to run that. So my 4 picks are Sami Zayn, Damian Priest, Trick Williams, and we got Randy Orton. Out of those 4, I do think it's Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn is going to be the guy. The Royal Rumble is a perfect spot for a low main event guy to face for the title, to fight for the title. So Sami goes in. Who takes the pin, though? Out of the fatal 4-way, I don't know who takes that pin. I don't think Trick should take the pin. I don't think Randy should take the pin. Honestly, Sami is the guy that would take the pin here. He would be the guy that takes the pin, and maybe I could see him take the pin because then he can go into the Rumble thinking, I need to win the Rumble because I lost that fatal 4-way. But I think he's going to be the guy that faces Drew McIntyre. So that just leaves Damian Priest. I don't know how we get Damian Priest to be the guy that eats the loss here, but it's going to be Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's going to be the winner, and he's going to come out and be like, see, you guys, you gals, you all underestimate me, but I did it. I beat those 4, and now, just like you underestimated me, I'm going to go to Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, and I will beat Drew McIntyre. I don't know if he beats Drew McIntyre, but there is a case for it. I mean, what if we literally took the belt off of Cody Rhodes so Sami could win the belt in Saudi Arabia and Drew was just a transitional champion? I know people would be mad, myself included, in that scenario, but I'm just trying to see things from the perspective of the WWE creative and trying to figure out what they're going to do, what their next moves are. To me, I would have Drew. I mean, if it was up to me, I'd have Drew walk into WrestleMania as champion. I don't think that's going to happen. But I honestly didn't think Drew was going to win against Cody in the 3 stages of hell. So I have been wrong before, and I want to be wrong in this scenario. But yeah, so my pick Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn in Saudi Arabia as the hometown hero. Everybody's going to be in his corner there cheering him on. And oh man, will he win? I need to think about that. I need to think if Sami's going to be the guy. But at least for now, he's your number one contender walking into the Royal Rumble against Drew McIntyre. Let's not focus on Drew and how we all feel that it's going to be a short title reign. Let's just focus on the fact that he is champion, and let's appreciate it for now, the time being. So tell me who you think Drew is going to fight in the comments below. Appreciate every single one of you. See ya, bye.